This one has a penis. It's a boy. This one has a vulva. It's a girl. Congratulations. Whoa. Let's hit the brakes, people. The way your body looks on the outside is only part of the story.
I want to shift gears and get your thoughts on something kind of crazy I saw circulating online. And I actually I tracked down the original video. So a person on Twitter reports that this was shown in a 4th and 5th grade classroom in the Superior School District of Wisconsin. And they actually posted a screenshot of it as a part of the curriculum. I'm not able to independently verify whether that really happened, but I was able to track down where this video came from, and it's actually from the Canadian Broadcasting Company, CBC, and their kids division. They put out this little handy lesson on gender ideology and gender identity. Take a look and a listen to this.
Aww. Hi, baby. Are you a boy or a girl? Funny you should ask, Sid. One of the first things they check when a new baby is born is what kind of body parts they have. They do that to determine a baby's sex. Most of the time, it's easy to determine, and sometimes it's more complicated. This one has a penis. It's a boy. This one has a vulva. It's a girl. Congratulations. Whoa. Let's hit the brakes, people. The way your body looks on the outside is only part of the story. What? Stay with me, gang. This is important. Hi, little one. Your sex refers to your physical body parts, remember? But there is also something called gender, which is how you feel inside your body and who you know yourself to be. And your gender, how you feel on the inside, doesn't always match the sex you were called when you were born. Okay. Let's say you were born with a penis and you feel like a boy inside. In that case, your sex and your gender match.
But what if you were born with a penis and you know you're a girl inside, not a boy?
Then your sex and your gender don't match.
Wait, what does know you're a girl inside mean anyway? Does that mean you have to love pink things and princesses?
Nope. Sometimes people refer to things as girl things and boy things, but this is just how people sometimes classify things, usually to make it easier to sell stuff to kids and their parents. Clothes, toys, and games are for everyone. You don't have to be a boy or a girl to like a certain thing. Sid, has anyone ever told you that you shouldn't play with something or wear something because you're a boy?
Well, yes.
The body parts you were born with don't always dictate who you are, how you feel, or what you like to play with.
Ah, that's such a relief.
Gender, how you feel and who you know yourself to be, tells you who you are, and there are a whole bunch of possibilities. Figuring out what feels right for you is just part of growing up. Bye, little cutie. You might want to change that diaper sooner than later.
I mean, almost every statement in there was either some form of a direct lie, a delusion, or a manipulation tactic. I mean, that was... Okay. So first of all, it's amazing that they say, you know, what they said about how, does that mean they like pink and girl things? No, because you can like... But those are the exact things that they will jump to when their child, you know, is that way to transition them. It's like when you listen to any parent of these, you know, kids who they transition, those are always almost the only things they list is, well, she always liked dresses as a kid. Well, she always liked the color pink. It's like, you can't have it both ways. The second thing is, it's interesting how there's no mention of the word intersex within that. So if you are going to make any form of, you know, educational content about how, you know, penis the doctor looks at, that means boy, and, you know, vulva or whatever, girl, it's like, okay, so we're onto something there. But then you say that's only tells half the story, and then you go into all this BS. What you really should have went into was that sometimes you can have a condition called intersex, which is a medical condition that a small number of people are born with that will lead to having, you know, internal organs that are sometimes not correspondent, and that doesn't make you a different gender. It makes you someone who has this condition.
So I love how the whole point of this video is this like woke child correcting the doctors. But I also, look, I think this would be confusing for a child. And if oh, 99+% of the time, whatever, the boys are the boys and the girls are the girls. And in the rare exception cases, whether like it's intersex or you mentioned, or somebody who will grow up to have gender dysphoria, they don't need that idea planted in their head in their 4th grade classroom through cartoons, right? They will figure that out and come to you. I genuinely don't understand the purpose of this kind of confusing and deeply ideological material being presented to young kids, which is clearly who it's designed for.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what you just said. I feel like there was a time where people in America had too much resistance and closed offness in their mindset toward if their kid ever came to them, you know, once they went through puberty or whatever, and said that there was something different about them, whether it means they're gay or they're struggling with feeling like, you know, there's issues with their gender. And we went straight from that to not a place of openness and, you know, reception to kids coming forward and saying these things, but implanting it in their mind, right? So it's like, that's completely different than coming from a place of, you know, I'm a parent, just had a kid, and if I fast forward to, you know, 13, 14, 15 years from now, and they come forward to me and they're confused with something or they want to tell me something, I will be receptive, I will be open, I'll be loving about it and help them through it. That's completely different than by the time they're in 4th grade, we're going to be showing them content that actually implants these ideas in their brain. And that is something that, just like you said, no one had to tell me I'm trans, no one had to implant that in my head. I'm sure it goes without saying, no one had to tell you you were gay or implant that in your head. And that's the case for all of us, actually. It's the ones who now are transitioning or, you know, identifying anywhere within the LGBT acronym that are, you know, not actually that because they're being gaslit into thinking they are. And it's often, like I said, for things like liking pink as a girl, when that could just mean you're an effeminate gay man. So stop putting things in kids' heads. Be open to them coming to you and help them through things if is worst case scenario.
So how would you feel if you were a Canadian and your tax dollars funded that fun little commercial for kids?
Well, I'll let you know if I get to even worrying about that after I worry about why my tax dollars will be going to the medical suicide program. You know, the one where they kill poor people and people who experience depression and trans issues, by the way. You go to them and say you're experiencing gender dysphoria and you can't afford a transition. There are stories of them offering that suicide, that medical suicide, to people like that. So, I mean, at this point, you got to go through so much other stuff to even think about this with the Canadians. But, you know, again, it's like, that's a Canadian video, but stuff like that's getting shown here too. So it's really messed up.